All right, ladies and gentlemen, Heatwave. It's warm in my apartment, guys, so this is going to be a simple video. I hope you don't mind. But now that we get this show right after Money in the Bank, and let's make this clear. A lot of what we have here in Heatwave kind of reflects what happened in Money in the Bank. There's no lie about that. But they did do a twist. And you see the title. They went there. They just went there. So let's start. Well, how can I say this about the kickoff? It really is not going to lead much. JC James and Jasmine, basically, they don't really have anything yet. Not really. The mask for JC James, I don't know where they're going to go with that. When it comes to Aria Grace and Petrovic, let's make it clear. This is leading to a match this Tuesday. And I don't know if it's really going to give something to either one of them, but they are getting spotlighted, which I do appreciate. Relevancy is more important than just being a champion. You got to be relevant to a certain extent. You got to be something for you. And I don't know if it's going to lead anywhere to relevancy, but this is what we got. Opening match. Umafemi versus Wesley for the North American Championship. If Wes loses, that's it. No more shots until Umafemi loses. Good match. I will admit, when it comes to... Look, I like Umafemi. I do. But he is green. You can see the way he works his ring work. And I know people can say, dude, why do you keep saying he's green? He's not. He is green. Yes, he may have been able to take Wes and spin him around like he was the damn top in the air, and he did. But when you see him, he's got a lot of power. But psychology is still not in his repertoire. He's all power. And sooner or later, he's got to work that out. He's got swag. Yes, to a certain extent. He does have character, but he needs psychology. If he doesn't have it, sooner or later, power will not be enough to get it done. And that's what he's got. Now, of course, he did win the match, and he did look a bit tanked, but it wasn't that bad. So after the match was over, we see Wes. He doesn't know what to do now. He put everything on the line. It is now finished, and this Tuesday we'll know what he's going to do. And if anybody says, oh, he's going to TNA, don't tell me that. I don't know if he'll go there. And to be honest, to go back to TNA, I don't even know if that would help him. Okay? This is all about what is going to be good for the NXT roster. Let's make this clear. I'm going to say this right now before I go any further because people do not understand. TNA, and I've heard people say this, TNA is getting great ratings. TNA, bull. It's not as high as you think. On top of it, this is more helping NXT than it is TNA. Because let's make this clear. Unless TNA starts getting numbers beyond 200K, they gain nothing. They're still going by ratings. And if anybody says, no, you don't get it. Yes, I do. Even TNA acknowledged it. If you don't want to hear it, go check the old websites that the dirt sheets are in, and you'll see that TNA was disappointed in their own damn ratings. Please don't tell me nothing. And don't tell me, oh, due to the fact that Anthem is no longer being seen in certain places. I don't care. They're going by ratings. They know what they did. It was stupid. And let's make this clear. This is, at this point, until we see any improvement in TNA, it's still NXT getting more out of it than TNA is at this moment because they're not doing anything live. They were still complaining about the damn ratings. And as much as anybody's going to say, what about they're getting so many seats? That don't mean shit if they do not start going live and start doing more than they were before. When they do, I'll say, good. I can believe they're improving. That's the deal. You tell me this, I'll say, nothing's changed. There you go. Now, next match. The match that I was a bit disappointed in. And that was the Women's North American Championship, Soruka versus Kiani Jordan. Let me make this very clear. I have said this multiple times when it comes to Soruka, Kiani Jordan, or anyone else that is similar to them who were former gymnasts. or former cheerleaders, male or female, you must have a balance of wrestling and gymnastics. Somewhere it could be about here. It doesn't have to be this or this. You can have more gymnastics than wrestling, but it should not be more, too much more. It should be somewhere a little bit balanced, or the reverse. As long as you balance it out to a certain extent, not 100% balanced, because then you lose what made you come into, what brought you to the game in the first place. You don't want to lose too much. You got to make sure you still got something that made you important to be able to be signed to TKO WWE. And at this point, we have two women who are known to be gymnasts. One is Soruka was a D when it comes D division, and when it came to Kiana Jordan, she's made it very close to being in the Olympics and being a national champion. I believe near a national champion stake multiple times. But you got two good gymnastic incline women. And when you watch the match in the very opening of it, you can tell 100% they both talked about it and they were waiting for each other to do each other's moves so they can make it look good. And it was bad. I don't care what anybody says, saying that the crowd was cheering. If you look at it for what it was, the very opening within the first 5 minutes of that match was beyond choppy, because each one of them wanted to get their moves out and it looked so unrealistic. Look, when you looked at Swerve Strickland and when you looked at Will Ospreay, we know they know how to do gymnastics. We know they're agile, but they made it very clear that they made it look good. They had to make it look good, because if it looks choppy, no one's going to give a damn. And Kiana Jordan and Soruka, who I really do like, they made it very choppy at first. Now, later during the match, they pulled back, not a lot on the gymnastic, but they started drawing more on wrestling and started working the match as wrestlers, which was a good thing to do. They had to make sure that the wrestling was important to put in. And from the beginning, which was bad, the middle, when they got better, it was near the end, the match looked much more competitive and also looked realistic. You got to understand, you got to make this look good. In the end, Kiana Jordan did not lose. And I'm not surprised. She's not going to lose. It's too soon. She's only just got the damn title. Unless you got someone really important, she's not going to drop it. That's what we got. But I was disappointed. They wanted to make it so athletic and so flippy. They overdid it and made it look so choreographed and then botchy and sloppy. I'm sorry. Next match. That is the tag match. Axiom and Frazier versus Chase U. Now, Duke Hudson was one there. Riley was outside, and we already know Holland was left behind. He was not allowed to be out there. Was it a good match? Yes, it was. It wasn't the greatest match I've seen for all four of these guys, but it was a good match. In the end, Axiom and Frazier did retain. The question is going to be now, what happens with Chase U? But more than that, they've already shown some type of frustration between Axiom and Frazier. What happens next between them? I don't think they're just going to drop it. Now, if they drop it and they don't go anywhere with it, it's going to look bad. They need to do something that either they're going to really break them up, which honestly I don't think they should, or they're going to have to give them something extra, like maybe Axiom finally gets through to Frazier saying stop doing other stuff and focus on us. Or finally, Frazier's going to screw something up. They will drop the titles. Axiom's going to get pissed at them, and then they're going to feud with each other again, which they did. Well, technically they never feuded. They always had like a best of matches. But in this situation, they may actually feud with each other. Next, the best match of the night. Pop Rocks, or Roxanne Perez, versus Lola Vice. Now, I did not know if this was going to be the best match, but it was. I'm going to make it very clear. as story goes, it's not that strong. I'm sorry. Yes, you're putting in Lola Vice's mom in this situation, what she had to sacrifice when she got sick. I understand it. Now, let's make it clear. That promo that she did was way overacted. It felt not genuine. It felt like she was trying so hard to make it feel genuine, it felt ungenuine. I'm not knocking her for it because she's still learning what it means to be in this situation. She just is. But it didn't come across well. It just didn't. For me personally, it did not come across well. But when we come to the match, it was a good match. We got 5 pop rocks. Pretty much. Her code red from a... I'm just saying, it was a lot that match went through. It was good. The Lola Vice messing up her right hand, really set the stage for the final bits where she had to do pop rocks on a Lola Vice to be able to beat her. And she did it multiple times. I felt that was the best match of the entire show. But that was not the most important match. There's a difference. We have the best, well done match. Physically. Then we have the story. And that is the last one. And that's the fatal 4-way when it comes to Trick, Evan, Spears, and Ethan Page. This was the story. I didn't think Evans was going to win. Devon Evans has been putting some high-profile things. And I'm going to be honest here. I'm not feeling him. I'm sorry. It's just too soon for him. 2 months, 3 at the most. How many months has it been? 2 or 3 months since he's been? 3 months. I wrote it down. He's only been on the roster for 3 months. And being put not just in one high profile, but at least 4 or 3 high profile moments, it just feels rushed. But as I've said before, I truly believe they're doing this because Ricochet is about to leave WWE. TKO WWE. And he's not coming back for a while, if ever. I think he will come back, but it'll be quite a while before he does. And honestly, I believe that Evans is going to fill in that void. They're already grooming him for it. And honestly, I feel that's wrong to rush him. Then we got Spears, which they haven't really done a lot with Spears. They helped them push a couple of people along, but when it comes to him, they really haven't done anything. And then Ethan Page, who came in with so much fanfare, who I still love Ethan. But I didn't know where they're going to go with him after he lost to Trick. And now we get this match, which was a good match. Evans was the one who was doing all the high flying, which was required here. Ethan and Spears, they went back and forth the way it was going. And pretty much the one who was doing the most defense was Trick Williams. Trick was doing absolutely everything he could to keep anybody from being pinned and trying to pin him on his own. But he was trying so hard until the last part of the match where he managed to do a trick shot twice. One on Evans and one on Ethan Page. And as he was about to try and stop Ethan when he fell on top of Devon Evans. He did the job. You got Shawn Spears holding onto that leg and he wins and everyone is in shock that Ethan Page won by just falling on someone after getting jawed with a trick shot. Okay, there's a bit to unpack here. Let's make this clear. Was it time for Trick to drop the title? Honestly, no. I don't believe he needed to drop the title yet. But I can understand why they did it because as over as he is, he needs to be rebuilt again because he'd already gone through everyone that he needed to go through before. There was no one legitimate enough for him anymore. Yeah, he had Shawn Spears, but that wasn't going to help him, particularly as Shawn did win and now we just settled it here. He needed to drop the title. He needed to drop it so they would let him rebuild back up to get the title back. Do I believe they could have waited another two months? Maybe. Yeah. But honestly, doing it like this does set him up for whatever PLE is going to be at SummerSlam. Now, they're their PLE. Don't know which one it is. But let's make this clear. That's what I believe they're setting up to. For Trick to get his title back and get to whoop that era back going. But they use Ethan Page. So this will be very interesting what Ethan is going to do. I am very interested in seeing how are they going to book Ethan Page. But here's another thing I need to bring up, guys. As interested I am seeing what they're going to do with Trick, Ethan Page. What are they going to do now with Roxanne Perez? Because she beat another person right now. I don't see her losing anytime soon. As much as they're doing all this, and questionable if a Kiana Jordan is going to get better with time, because the way that match was not that great until the end. My question is where they're going to go with everybody, but how far are they going to advertise for everybody? Let's make this clear. There was heavy advertisement in the show. We had the behind the scenes of the WrestleMania XL. We had a lot of advertising for goods. We had a lot of advertising for everybody else. And this is something you need to understand. The amount of advertising we get is also going to be the amount of use we're going to get from these wrestlers. Because the more that they advertise these wrestlers, the more they're going to be seen. Hell, look at what happened. At the end, Joe Henry was shown flashing across the screen. So they will be bringing him back again because he'll be bringing in this. I'm sorry. If anybody thinks, oh, it's just to help TNA, bull freaking shit. They know they're going to get some more interest because right now Joe Henry is hot. Look, he got his own song over heavily back in the UK. And it's beginning to get somewhere here. They bring him in because they want this. And they're going to get it. So advertisement for these wrestlers will also go hand in hand with their stories. Now, that's not something you haven't really seen before. But right now in TKO WWE, it is very, very prominent. And this pretty much covers what I've been saying for a while now. TKO WWE is TKO WWE. There is no WWE. This is not about Triple H or it's not even about HBK. It's about what Ari wants. Ari wants these wrestlers to be connected to a product that they can sell. That's what we're getting here. The more these wrestlers are prominently featured, the more they're going to bring out more advertisement. The more advertisement, the more money generated, and that is so on and so forth and so forth. That is what we're going to get. No matter what anyone says, no matter what just Alex JD, it don't make a difference. Money is even more apparent to this company, which is a satellite company now. It's not its own promotion anymore. It's a satellite company of a corporation. The question is going to be for me, how far they're going to go with this before something goes wrong. Now, I'm hoping never to go wrong. But knowing that money goes up and down, when money goes down, people wonder what to do. They start throwing crazy stuff out there to make the money go back up. Not to make the wrestlers more relevant, but to make more money. So I'm hoping it doesn't go bad, but this is just me. I'm just saying it out loud. It was still a good show. I want to make this clear. Heatwave was good. Roxanne Perez and Lola Vice had the best match. But it was just a match, not a story. The story was not that great when it came to Lola. Not taking anything from her mom. It's just she oversold it and it ruined it. When it came to the real story, that was the Fatal 4-Way. That story leaded to Ethan Page winning and Trick feeling like he was cheated when pretty much he was. But it's just me. Peace.